Okay, next I'm going to do a fan wing hackle stacker. I love this wing on here. Now, this is not a fly you're going to fish all day long on the South Fork. This is a fragile fly, but if you got a picky fish up at the ranch on the Henry's Fork, you want something, they're going to see that wing and want it. So this is what you use for that very picky fish. I'll show you a really sturdy fly here in a minute, but that's for that fish you've been chasing for 2 hours and just hadn't got the right fly yet. Okay, so I'm going to put a thread base down here. This is going to have a moose body tail. This is wonderful stuff. It's sturdy, it floats. Take out the guard hairs, stack it. Okay, there's a right way and wrong way to stack hair. This is the wrong way. Okay, it wakes your wife up at 4 in the morning. This is the correct way to hackle stack here. Got that, Callan? You got? Okay, good. Very important, because at the Fly Tying Expo, all day long I'll hear this. It's like, knock it off. Okay, so moose body, tail. Moose body is good tying material. Once again, I keep it horizontal. That way it'll automatically flare out. I don't have to go underneath it with thread. I'm going to do a yellow rib with my Kevlar thread. Dub the body. Once again, bring your dubbing to a long, what shape is that called? Not a square, but a rectangle. There you go. I went to public school, so I'm not quite up to speed on this. Okay, so dubbing from the tip down, wrap that on. And green drakes actually are a little bit chubbier than your typical mayfly, so that can be a little bit thick. Okay, how many wraps of ribbing? 5 has to be odd number or just won't look right. Tie that down. Okay, I'm going to put a, let's see, I'll do my hackle stacker here. Now, if you have really thin thread or weak thread, you can actually do 2 loops, but I think 1 is plenty for the unit thread. Wrap it. You'll get pretty good at this after a while, but you have to be a little bit coordinated, which took me 6 months to figure it out, but you wrap it, twist or switch fingers, and I'm going to go up a second time. Like that. Then go down. Then you go right to the hook shank, hackle right below, pull everything back, let your feather go, tie it off. Loop it back to really secure it, tie it down. There's your hackle stacked. Trim your feather for the next fly. Now we're gonna put on the fan wings here. So this is just, actually I think I got it here. It's whiting hen hackle, or wet fly hackle, I should call it, hen saddle. If you can find this in the right size and color, buy it, because it's kind of hard to find good quality. But this is a long, thin feather here. The price is right on this. It's like 20 bucks, so it's a good deal. So here I've prepared feathers. I'm going to put them back to back so they flare out like that. I'm going to, once they're back to back, you want them both the same length, about the hook shank length, and I'll just tear off the feathers, feather fibers like that. A little bit shorter than that. Okay, now here you want side by side and the stems right next to each other, parallel. So I'm going to take that, pinch it down, tie it. Now, you only wrap forward on this because you don't want to wrap back on those stems until it's tied in, or they'll get twisted. And see how that came out just right? So the whole key to fly tying is the base. If you're tying material on a base, that base needs to be smooth, flat, no bumps. That's where most fly tying problems are. If you got a bump there, you tie it on, it squamps us one way or the other, drives you nuts. But so make sure you got a smooth foundation. Okay, I'm going to put a little dubbing for my thorax. Once again, start at the top, work down. Here I'm going to pull the hackle out of the way. I'm going to put a little bit of dubbing behind the wing, right up next to the stem, pull it forward, dubbing in front. Now you'll notice here I didn't do any thread figure 8 between the wings. I don't like to do that because by putting thread between the wings, it gives it a cutting place. So if you put something thin next to a feather, and if you tweak it at all, it's going to cut it. And so that's why I don't do it. Now, here's the trick of this fly. The wings are just like that. I'm going to grab my hackle stack, put it between the wings, pull the wings back, soft loop, tie that thread off, 2 or 3 wraps loosely. Now, if I like how it looks, I'm going to pull that thread tight so it tightens down the hackle. I'm going to pull everything out of the way, take that thread backwards so I got a loop in the thread, tie it off, and then half hitch. Now, you see a lot of people half hitch 2 or 3 times, not enough. 6, 7, 8, 9 half hitches, that's what you need. So I do a bunch.
Wow, you went from 9 to 6, 7.
Yeah, I did a range. Yeah. I ran into Bonnie Harrop in St. Anthony at the post office, and she says, Hal, if you tie your heads right, you don't need to use head cement. So I agree with her. Okay, look at that wing. Is that beautiful? Shake your head and say, yeah, that's beautiful, Hal. That's lovely. Yeah.